Stop me if you've heard this before. The SEC has filed a lawsuit against another crypto exchange. We're going to dive into the latest around the SEC versus Coinbase. Before we get into that, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. Nothing Kevin or I say is financial advice. We're not financial advisors. We're a few guys who love following the crypto and stock markets, talk about it, but please do your own research before making any buys or sells. Kevin, yesterday was Binance. Today it's Coinbase. The SEC is going after everyone. I don't know if they're going to be outgunned here, but it's been a wild morning. We didn't see markets react much as the day started, but we've actually seen crypto take a nice little leg up here. I know you don't expect it to last. I don't necessarily expect it to last, but it's been fun either way. How are you feeling on this Tuesday?
Yeah, it's yesterday was a long day. Obviously, there's a lot to take in. I think a lot of people last night were kind of expecting Coinbase to be the next, target of this SEC attack. Again, we shouldn't be surprised because they did get the Wells notice a while back. So eventually it was going to come that the SEC was going to go after them. I was kind of hoping that, I thought it was smart when Coinbase had sued the SEC originally for, clarity in the space, regulatory clarity, that maybe that would take the pressure off of them. But now the SEC still went through with their suit. And we are with crypto just absolutely rallying today. It's pretty much just filled the entire gap of the move that was down to the downside yesterday, going up today. So, are people optimistic? 100%. Are people just like, gung ho about, crypto surviving? 100%. I think that the charts tell a different story, and we just need to be more realistic and rational than what a lot of rational investors are currently doing. So, I feel good. I think there's going to be a lot more to this over the next 2 weeks, and I don't think that the move is done. It's far from over, in my opinion.
Oh, there's a lot more to this that's going to happen in the months and years ahead. This is not going to be a short term thing. This is going to take a long time. Maybe it
For
ends up in
sure.
front of the Supreme Court. Who knows what happens as we get close to election season next year as well. I think crypto is going to be a major talking point in the
Yeah.
2024 election. And so we're going to have to see which of the candidates really embraces it. Do those, if a new candidate wins, are they going to keep going with Gary Gensler here? Take a nap, Kevin. Stop yawning. How are we going to? How's this going to progress in the future? Because crypto to me is inevitable. I've seen quotes from people saying that this could be what kills off almost all of crypto. I couldn't disagree with them more. Is it going to set crypto back in the U.S.? Maybe. I personally don't think so for the long term, but in the coming months and years, sure, it could be a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's inevitable. Like it's going to keep pushing forward. We've seen like if you are new to crypto, I haven't been around crypto a long time. I've followed it though, and this happens all the time.
Yeah.
Every market cycle, it's this is the end for crypto. It's the end for crypto. It's never coming back. Blah blah blah. Same old bullshit talking points over and over again from people who don't really understand it, don't truly pay attention to it. Find some journalists to follow on the crypto front who've actually been around for a while and don't just go over the same old talking points because I like Bloomberg, but for the most part their crypto coverage is crap. They do 1 hour of crypto coverage a week that is decent, and that is on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern until
Yeah.
2 p.m. Eastern. Other than that, there are people who are writing about crypto. They're not crypto journalists, so I'm steering clear, and I'm not really giving much credence to what they're saying there. Ace, good to
You're
see
right.
you. So, I'm no legal expert. I'm not going to pretend to be one. I just know that this is going to take a while to play out. Like this is not going to be something that gets resolved quickly. There's a process to it. There's going to be all sorts of maybe it goes to trial, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I don't particularly care. I think that this is going to play itself out. It is a straight shit show out
Yeah.
here, but it's at least fun as opposed to the tradfi markets, which are boring. Like, my God, if you look at the Nasdaq, everything is just flat, flat as can be, flat as my freshman year homecoming date. Like, my lord, it is just absolutely terrible out here. It's so boring, and I think it's going to be that way. Kevin, you and I were just talking about this. There's not a whole lot of data coming out between now and next Tuesday when we get the CPI print and we get the start of the FOMC. There is jack shit. We got consumer credit tomorrow. I'll be interested to see that one because I think it's going to come in really bad. We see like a trade deficit number come in. That doesn't tend to move the markets a ton. We'll see initial jobless claims. That's moved the markets a little bit lately. And then wholesale inventories. Those are the big ones. But even those ones aren't market moving ones at this current time, because all anyone cares about is what's going on with the debt ceiling. That's resolved at this point. So no worries there, as well as what is going on with inflation. So everything's back to being data dependent. If we still want to believe that's the thing, which I don't anymore. Markets have now priced in a 75% chance of no rate hike, but a greater than 50% chance of 25 basis points in July. I don't know. This whole thing is so stupid. I'm not really sure what to make of all of it right now, but that's what we're looking at. So where do you want to go from here, Kev? I don't have a ton. Like, the SEC stuff is dominating the news cycle at the moment.
I think the one thing that we do have to keep an eye on is the DOJ, and they're possibly going to be having some rules, maybe some restrictions when it comes to short selling. That's one thing that I've been keeping up with, because again, we're in a bear market. Let's not kid ourselves. And I think that short selling is probably going to be the most profitable thing probably in the next 12 months. At some point, we're going to be going down. But the DOJ coming out, when we're going to see most likely a pretty violent move to the downside, that's eliminating, a product that a lot of exchanges, a lot of these services offer, where you could potentially make a good amount of money. The way I see it, it's like, okay, maybe you'll get some options, like options, calls, stuff like that. You can still partake in, but when it comes to crypto or, stocks, it's like, are we just buying spot and selling spot and just hoping that's the way we could do it? So seeing them come out after short selling seems like just another way for people not to be able to make money. Obviously, it's been very profitable for a lot of people, especially in a bear market. But for the time being, I think it's too convenient for it not to be a reason. We see Jamie Dimon and a bunch of other people saying that it's ridiculous. People are taking advantage of these banking crisis. But it's like, all right, people are in these banks, right? And the U.S. government's protecting those. But they're
pot calling the kettle black. Jesus Christ.
Exactly. So it's like it's absolutely insane. Like, the banks are being saved by the U.S. government. They have been. When it comes to these crypto exchanges, we're going to war with them, right? So it's a really like just stupid, fucking manipulated, absolutely bullshit market we're in. I was saying that people were shorting Binance a while back, institutions. Clearly, they were, because look what happened. Wouldn't be surprised if people were doing the same thing with Coinbase on the in the NASDAQ, right? So it's really interesting to see that they're going to go after short selling after they probably made a ton of money on these past 2 days, these past two moves.
I'm sure we'll get word in the coming weeks that Pelosi shorted Coinbase, or her husband shorted Coinbase, yesterday or some shit, because that's just how it works around here.
And then Cathie Wood probably bought 3 billion shares right before it dumped. So that's the way it works in this market. Jim Cramer's out here saying that Solano and Cardano are pretty much finished. That these are, I wouldn't bet again. I don't know what he said. He called them Cardano, and I thought that was the funniest.
He did call it Cardano,
and Solano amazing. Too.
Like, that's amazing. So yeah, didn't he call it like Saldano,
something like that? And then he said Matt. At least he got Matic right. But it's funny. This guy has a TV show, and people still listen to him. Hopefully, they listen to him for the opposite reasons of what he's speaking. But yeah, it's short selling is a wonderful product in my opinion, especially in bear markets. That's how we make money. So we have money at the end of the bear market to buy in and go long when the bull market's ready to take off. Taking that away is going to be absolutely, just destroying smaller investors more than anything. Because, hey man, if things are failing and the market's going to go down, then I don't see a problem with people shorting the market, right? You want to protect yourself. You want to grow wealth. The fact that they're so like balls to the wall about hurting people in this way, I don't think people realize how important this is in terms of how profitable they can possibly be if this market does go to shit like we anticipate.
It's all about control, and that's like, they want to control everything. They want it their way. They want you to believe that they're doing it for your best interest, that they're controlling crypto for your best interest. Meanwhile, it's totally okay for banks to charge these ridiculous overdraft fees. And, it's totally okay for banks to charge you money to get your money out. It's totally okay for banks to take your money and make you wait days and weeks to have access to it. It's totally okay for banks to go around and play with your money, and you at some point maybe get totally fucked, but nothing happens there. So it's just total bullshit. It pisses me off to no fucking end. It is why I continue to root for crypto, because it's the opposite of everything that the US government stands for from a financial standpoint. They can all go get fucked, in my opinion. I'm just so sick of it. I'm ready to see crypto win. It's going to take a while. We're in for a long fucking fight, but I'm fucking here for it. God damn, I'm about to run through this fucking wall next to me. Like the Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, I mean, once everyone's pretty much, if I didn't have kids, I'd be out of the States after this year. Ace, I'm saying it. I've been telling it to people for a long time. Get a second passport, make your money, and get the fuck out. I think that's definitely the play for a lot of people, especially if you're younger or if you want to give your kids a better future. It doesn't hurt, having that backup plan, right? Definitely, there are countries who are super crypto friendly. They'll allow you to short stocks, but it's just absolutely insane to think that the U.S. is just. It's even getting to a point where you're just buying and selling. You're lucky if are you going to be able to sell, or is that just going to be, what I mean? It's really interesting to see where we're heading, and it seems like it's on a fast track right now. I didn't think it was going to be this quick. If they do ban short selling, I hope they don't. I hope that's just all talk and no fucking action.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who wants them to do it, right? Like if old buddy Jamie Dimon wants them to ban short selling, they're going to ban short selling because he's basically like the Fed's pocketbook at this point. Like, oh, you need someone to come save this bank? Okay, we'll call Jamie up. Oh, he wants us to ban short selling? Okay, well, we owe him one, so we'll go ahead and ban short selling. That's how that's going to just play out. It's fucking infuriating. It's time to get the fuck out if possible. So that, I think, we'll wrap up that portion of it. Do you want to look, I'm like I said, I'm watching the markets and I try to look at this thing, macro, big picture. The big picture still sucks. Like if you're looking at equities, so much is overvalued. We saw the sell the news event with Apple yesterday. It's, pretty flat for the day. We're seeing Nvidia down about 1%. I still think it's one of those situations. It's so boring, but fixed income still feels like for the next 3 to 6 months, the only thing worth doing if you don't want to just have your cash sitting there earning you nothing, right? Like if it's short-term CDs or short-term bonds, they're not sexy, but interest rates are high. They're going to go up a little bit more and they're going to stay elevated. And that offers an opportunity if you got cash on hand to get a little bit more cash on hand, because we've seen earnings come in strong for Q1 for a lot of companies. They were revised down in a lot of cases. They haven't been revised down otherwise, and we're starting to see consumers spend less and less outside of the essentials. So I think it may have been pushed off a little bit. I was expecting the hit to earnings to come sooner, but I still think we're going to see it. And I think equities are going to get beat up from that standpoint. We have the student debt payments coming back here in the next 2 months. That's, I think, going to be a hit to anything risk on, especially crypto. So it's boring. It's not as sexy as having that cash to possibly waste on a meme coin that could go up 200% in 3 days. But at the same time, like, preservation of capital is the name of the game, in my opinion. Like, as we move into this period where things are going to come back down to earth, they're overhyped, the AI bubble could burst. I think we need to still be patient here, not get caught up in the excitement around Nvidia, around Apple, around Meta, around Netflix and Tesla. Take like a bigger picture view and not be afraid to, try not to FOMO into stuff. And maybe the best way to do that is to keep some of that money locked up that is going to earn you a little bit in the interim.
Yeah, absolutely. It's man, we know the equities are going to take a massive dump soon. It's like we're waiting for it to happen. I just don't know what the best bet is for right now. Like making money in the most boring way, but at least you're making it. It's probably your best bet. And then, hey, maybe the market dumps by the time where you're able to cash out, and then you got that on hand to start buying in. This market has been one of the most resilient things in the world. And I guess 2006 to 2008, when we watched The Big Short, kind of the market did very similar things, right? You were wrong for a long time before you were right. And right now, I think that this is pretty, this is just this awkward phase where in crypto, I think we're starting to see it where people who have a good amount of money, a good amount of supply, are putting it on exchanges and they're ready to get the fuck out of the market, right? And then you got investors who are still buying in, people who don't really expect anything bad to happen. I think a lot of the massive institutions have already been sitting on the sidelines for a while. So I think that that's going to happen too for TradFi. But again, when this does happen, it's just going to be a massive like face melt. It's going to be absolutely, your pants are going to be around your ankles and shit's going to be on the floor. You're not going to make it to the toilet. That's how bad this market's going to absolutely just collapse. But it's we're waiting for
Tell me how you really feel about it, Kevin.
I mean, I couldn't think of a better analogy. It's just, we're fighting a shit on the school bus, on the school ride home, and we're wearing a belt and we're trying to take it off, and then next thing you know, we missed the toilet. That's pretty much where we are in this market. And there's not much more I could say to that. It's absolutely bullshit. Make money in any way you possibly can, but don't buy into this, the belief that we're in a bullish market. We are far from a bullish market right now. We can jump into the charts now too. I got tons of stuff that I want to talk about, and then we can start.
Let's do it.
Wrapping it up. So let's look at Bitcoin right now, because that's obviously the one that took a pretty good dump yesterday. This is the 4 hourly. I just want to show you this. This is when it dropped yesterday. Just massive, right? Over these 8 hours, it just absolutely collapsed. But this is a huge gap. This went way too fast. So what do we do on this side? We filled it. We're filling gaps, right? That's pretty much all we did on that move. It's when we have those, orders that get filled way too fast and the price moves way too quick, then at some point they're most likely going to go back up, liquidate some people. That's what happened. We see it on the 4 hourly. But if we look at the daily, even from this red candle, look how low the volume was down here compared to where the volume is today with this pushing up. The volumes are still low. I believe volume is dead in this market. It's not a bullish thing at all. On the daily, we came down close to the 200 EMA. We didn't get to it. We bounced off of it, and it looks like now we're going to test maybe the 50 moving average. But this looks like it's range bound, right? So on the daily, once again, we're just consolidating. The last time we consolidated was up here. We're just going sideways, sideways, sideways. And then what happened? We continue the trend. It's a continuation pattern. We could be doing the same thing for a while here. Just keep an eye on it. But again, where the trend is to the downside, I don't believe that we are in a place where we're going to probably go above 31K. You're lucky if you go test back 28.8 right there. I think that we're stuck below this range. Maybe retest 27.233. But again, we're up 3.8% today. We're up, it's coming down a little bit. It was up, I think, 1,200 at some point today. Or what was it up? Not 1,200. It was up heights. I don't know. It was only up about 1,000. So my bad. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing on the daily. We're just filling those gaps. We look on the weekly, look at this massive hammer that we just came straight down. And then people just bought this right back up. That's for me, that's not bullish. Again, maybe people are buying this in, but the volumes are extremely low. So once again, volumes are going to be a key to telling you where this market's going. But the fact that we got all this news and then people are buying in, and I look at the exchanges right now, and I'm just seeing tons of supply. We're talking like everything from Doge being thrown out to Coinbase, and like not small amounts. We're talking about like over $100 million worth of like supply that people are dropping from wallet transactions. That's telling me that people are trying to offload as fast as possible. So maybe they're swapping their time weighted just pricing, just selling into the market, and that's why we're going to find some resistance soon. Where that resistance is, it'll be interesting to see. It's probably where we're going to get rejected from next. Maybe that is the 200 or the 50 EMA in the daily. On the weekly, I'm not sure if there is some resistance. Maybe it's at 27.2333. It's really close right here. You could see that become, resistance. And again, we've been filling gaps, right? So on the way up, we dropped yesterday. Now we came back up. So we filled that 4 hour gap. We have a massive gap on the weekly. That's from here all the way down, right? Maybe we find some support on this blue line, but maybe we don't. Maybe we test it one more time and that we lose that. And we're probably going to have to fill this gap that's right here. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So that's saying that, 22 to 23K is, in the cards. I think that's very likely. I think a lot of people, the fact that they're putting all the supply in the exchanges, they're selling it. I don't think they're putting on the supply in the exchanges for fun, right? They're not keeping it safe on, Binance or Coinbase when the SEC is going after both of them. So for me, they're just trying to offload everything. This pump today is a good opportunity for them to get out of the markets. And I think that we are going to, be in for a rough ride over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe this could happen faster. Maybe it takes a little bit longer. But I do think that we're going to have to form this right shoulder like we were talking about. And at 22, 23 level, which would be the bottom of this red line here, this red box, it's kind of possible. So just keep an eye on that. Another dangerous thing that I'm seeing in the market right now is Bitcoin dominance. I was telling JWeb right before the show that it took a pretty good leg up. We're looking on the weekly, and obviously, it's nothing crazy. But if we look at it on the daily, that's a pretty good candle, and we're undervalued here, and we just broke above the 50 moving average on the daily. So maybe we do have a little bit room to the upside. Maybe that's Bitcoin climbing up just to that 27.2 level where we get rejected from, so they can sell everything. But as Bitcoin dominance climbs, obviously alts are going to get killed. So it's alts are getting killed on both. Yes, Ace, I completely agree. We love to fill gaps. But it's that we should put that on a shirt. Just have no one know what we're talking about. But yeah, it's absolutely killing alts in both directions, right? Bitcoin dominance is going up, price of Bitcoin is going up. People are putting everything into that, and maybe even people are afraid right now, right? They trust Bitcoin, but they don't trust any of these other securities like Cardano that the SEC is going after. So yeah, let's put everything in Bitcoin right now. Let's put the price shoot up a little bit. I think we're still in a bull market. Maybe everything else fails, but Bitcoin doesn't. Ethereum doesn't. Those are the two that weren't listed on the SEC's thing, bullshit letter that they sent out. But yeah, people could be doing that. That's why Bitcoin's price going up, dominance is going up, and that just means that alts are getting killed. People are getting out of the positions of things they think might not be able to be sold in their country. So that's a possibility. Again, but that means that now we're getting to a point where we're finding resistance. Bitcoin dominance is high. People are getting out of their alt positions, and then Bitcoin dumps again. People start selling off because, oh no, we're not in a bull market. Price is going to just absolutely tank. So alts are going to get destroyed there. So there's a good chance that alts, even some of my targets, maybe they go lower than possible. It's very possible. Like, this is not a great setup. This is not a bullish setup for alts, for Bitcoin, for anything right here. I think that what we're going to see pretty soon is going to be devastating. And again, if we love to fill gaps, let's look at the weekly on this Bitcoin dominance chart, right? Say Bitcoin dominance is extremely high and then Bitcoin starts to tank. Well, then it's a pretty big gap right there. To go from where we are right now at 47.8 to, let's say we fill the gap right around here, around 44.36, Bitcoin would have to take a massive downside, massive dump. And well, guess what? Everything else would too. So on the crypto side, nothing looks bullish whatsoever to me. You even go to Binance. We didn't talk about Binance or look at the chart of it yesterday. But, a few weeks ago, I was talking about this ascending triangle. It was trading in it, and we broke out of it. We closed under it on the weekly. Clearly, we saw a massive leg to the downside. We're at 283 right now for Binance. I think that's going to go down a lot further. Again, they said that they're committed to fighting the SEC to the full extent of the law, which to me is code for, yeah, we're going to have to start selling BNB to keep operations functioning and at the same time pay for our legal fees. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see a little bit of a sell-off going into that because, again, there's no BUSD that they can artificially print. Again, you can be pro Binance, but at the same time, you understand that they did do some shady shit in this bear market, and that's no good. Good people make mistakes, and this, I think, was one that maybe was a pretty big mistake for them to do. And along with commingling user funds, I'm not surprised why they're in this position now. So that being said, I think we do have to come down on Binance. The lowest we hit was, this is FTX. No, it's June. This is December when everything crashed. 213 was a pretty good level of support. We went below it, but 213 is a pretty good level. There's tons of gap on the other side too. Like if I pull up this monthly, it's a massive gap here all the way down to $45. I'm not saying it's going to $45. It could go to zero. Depends on who wins, who loses. But I do think that there is no support in this range right here from, what is that? $213 down to $45 on the monthly. So there's a good chance if we do get below that 213, if we test it, we lose it. Maybe we go. Maybe we go. That's all I can say for Binance.
Maybe we go.
Maybe we go. It's it can be absolutely devastating. And again, volumes dropping, Binance pushing up. Now it's starting to finally falter. Bearish divergence. Easy as you can find it on the macro. These are things you got to be looking for. Let's take a look at USDT. Last one. This is the market cap dominance. You saw that it was climbing up right on the monthly. It's doing pretty good, right? But then we look at the daily, and we shot up yesterday because everyone was selling all their assets. Now it's going down because everyone's switching that into, obviously, crypto or Bitcoin or whatever they're doing. They're trading it. USDT is probably one of the most famous trading pairs. So I'm not surprised that this is going down as fast as it is, especially when the market starts pumping. People get excited. Let's throw a little bit more into the market, see if, this is just a fake out and we go to higher highs and, we're in a bull market. Bitcoin looks like it's taking a pretty good leg up right now. But yeah, so right now I'm looking at this. It's coming down. I don't think USDT dominance is done yet. We're still above the key level of support, which I would say is probably around 7.5. Yeah, 7.5%. That was one that we were fighting for a while around here. We got above it. On the daily, we got the golden cross, so we're still pushing it up to the upside. Let's look at the weekly real quick. Eventually this is going to break. It looks like we're putting in a parallel channel here, higher highs and higher lows. It will break at some point. We got bearish divergence, volumes are coming down, but at the same time, stochastic RSI is extremely overbought. This tells me that at some point USDT is going to absolutely collapse. But when will that be? Could that be when crypto collapses and everything else and people are just swapping USDT for USD? It's very likely. We'll just have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, it's definitely a bear flag. That's all I can say for the market right now. Bitcoin right now is at 26,866. So maybe it is going up higher to that point we were talking about a few seconds ago. We were saying 2723. That'd be interesting if we do hit that and then we get rejected. That's look at these two candles, pretty close, right? 50 moving averages there. I think that's what we're going to see. If we see anything above it, might be a fake out, and then you're just going to see tons of supply just absolutely change hands from institutions that were complacent, that are now scared, to retail investors that are hopeful, that are putting in every last bit, expecting a bull market because they don't want to miss the boat. But I don't buy this one bit. I think we're going to be down here 22, 23 before you know it.
Okay, it might take a little bit of time, but it's coming, man.
Maybe.
That's really all there is left to say.
We don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, I know Ace getting his shorts ready while he still can. I know Kevin has been rocking those shorts for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
Not going anywhere. So that is going to wrap it up for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to do a little bit of homework, but I want to talk about some other non-crypto related things tomorrow. I think there's not a whole lot going on in the markets, but that means it's a good opportunity to research some other potential investments. So that's what I'm going to spend my time doing. Maybe look at a little bit of South America, some Asia perhaps, but let's get a little more international. Let's expand out from this godless hellhole that is becoming the U.S. economy. So that will wrap it up for today. If you have not yet, do me a favor. We got some buttons down below that could use a little bit of help. The like, the subscribe if you have not yet, a comment, and to sharing us out. That would be huge. Greatly appreciated. Ace, Randy, once again, thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you getting involved, being part of the show. It's very much appreciated. So we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Have an awesome day, everybody. We will see you next time.
Take care, everyone.